Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.
Meeting Jay Massey in person, you'd think he's just a regular guy. He's got jeans and a t-shirt on and a pair of sneakers. But he's built up a multi-million-dollar empire.
I hope you do have an empty notebook because it's going home filled.
Jay gives back so much value that I've never seen.
Now, at this moment, when I'm looking at the kitchen, things are going through my head.
You want to be friends with him, and he treats you like you're the only person in the room, even though it's for the benefit of everybody.
This is how, when you ask yourself, how does Jay do it? This is how.
He tells people that they have to take action, and they have to take action now. I took the action, and the results have paid off.
What happens when the marketplace understands who we are and how we go out there? All right, 1 2 1 2. I'm not. Hello? 1 2. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm hoping everything is working at the moment. That's just what I'm hoping. I make no promises, and give me one quick second. Everything was literally not working just a second ago. Okay, so that's working. Just what? So let me test one more thing over here. Come on. It's that. And then this. Yeah, that camera is all messed up. Because I'm off to the side. So I don't know which way it needs, let me see. Move it. Yeah, that, keep going. A little more. And right there. All right, so, no, well, one more, a little bit more. There you go, perfect. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, people. How's your day been? You should be good. I don't know what all this stuff is over here, but yeah, you should be good now. All right, thanks. We have been in a constant process here, anyway, as I think we told you guys, but we've been in the process of upgrading and changing and just, I guess not really, we're adapting to the new world, right? In the same way that you have a new world to adapt to, or at least all of us do, as it relates to making the whole short-term rental world work. There we go. That's exactly what we're up to. Is I've got to make the CashFlowDiary world work as well. I have no idea why that was flashing. Anyway, hopefully you guys are here. You're ready. For those of you who are here, I will do my best to answer your questions. I do believe we weren't intentionally supposed to be live on YouTube right now, but I think we are. So yay. Congrats. But nonetheless, that's just how it's going today when everything is not working quite perfect as we had hoped it would be. But nonetheless, we are here to assist in all the ways. So what does that mean? That this is how the Q&A sessions typically work. Well, one, they start way sooner than right now. And then two, what we do is we do our best to answer your questions. So whatever those questions might have been. Now, to that effect, we have a phone number for you to call into. 417. That doesn't look right at all. It's 417-344-2274. 417-344-2274. By all means, please go ahead and dial in. Let me see if anyone actually has already dialed in. Megan is there at the moment, it looks like. Yep. To be able to help and screen. So that is 100% great. Now, for those of you who were here earlier today, was it earlier today? I think it was earlier today. I had mentioned that there was a person who I would introduce you to, who had been having some success at the end of the day with his short-term rental, with his business, with everything that's been going on. Many of you saw his post, I hope, and Nevin is definitely that guy. So I was pretty fired up to see him actually follow through on a lot of the things that we had discussed inside the roadmap for him to do. And then even though, and this is the part that I want you to hear, even though he was scared, concerned, all of that. Oh, someone called and then hung up. Anyway, so even though he was scared and concerned and all of that, he was still able to go ahead and continue pushing forward. So if you have not heard or did not know, I'm realizing I have these screens backwards. That needs to be over there and this needs to be over here. Anyway, what I would love for all of us to do is to give Devin a very large round of applause if we could, because it's definitely, I think it's a testament to him, to the way the system works, to how everything has gone. Because at the end of the day, each one of us, why am I not hearing that? Are you guys hearing that? I'm not hearing that at all. Oh, dear Lord. One, two, hello? Is anything working right now? Yep. Why am I not hearing? I'm assuming you guys can hear me, because I'm assuming you can, because I have no other way to know if you don't tell me. I'm waiting for one of you to say something like that. Hearing the buzz. Yeah. Congratulations, Nevin. Great job. Yes, okay, so you did hear that part, so that's good. I'm just not understanding why all of a sudden I am not hearing. Oh, was that it? Got it. So there we go. Sorry, my fault. Oh my good. Whew. I don't know if you guys remember me saying this, but I've been saying this a lot these past few days. You cannot learn and look good at the same time. And while to you it may look, in fact, let me show you. Let me show you what's going on. Let me see if I can, if this angle is working. I will show you. We have been in the process of, yes, there we go. We've been in the process of upgrading and changing, trying to make it so that we can make content faster. That is ultimately the goal. Make higher quality content faster, answer your questions faster, do it in the fastest, most complete way possible, over and over and over again, which has required a lot of brain thinking and rearranging of this area and everything else that we do. So it has been a challenge. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to call it a challenge. And it's been a fun challenge, but it is still a challenge is really what I want to communicate. And probably the most recent or the biggest thing, if I can show you, is that I just realized that I did completely backwards. Is I've got these two screens reversed. I spend most of my time changing stuff on this screen, and I need to be able to, I can't see it. Because anyway, yeah. So more changing to make it easier, better for you. Anyway, so if you got a question, feel free to go ahead and call in. I see one person is there, lady in Cynthia. Wants to know the units in January. Okay, hold on one second. So let's get over to Cynthia. And again, Cynthia, bear with me just a moment. I want to make sure that all of the things are working as we try to bring you on. So that's there, and I should be able to hit this button right. Oh boy. Here, that button plus this button. Cynthia?
Hi, Jay.
Yes. I feel like I just won something because it worked. Oh my goodness. How are you? What's that?
Yes, everything is working. I'm just like in a very slow motion. I'm listening to the live and listening to you at the same time.
Oh God, you definitely don't want to do that because there is a lag. There's typically a lag or delay between the two.
Yes.
You know what? Hold 1 second. I just realized I forgot something. Because when I'm doing Skype, I need to put this in my ear so it doesn't feed back through. 1 second. And connect. 3, 2. Hello? Nope, not yet. 1, 2. 1, 2. Can you hear me? Perfect. I can hear you too. Everything is good. So what's going on? How can I help? Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on. You're say I'm having trouble distinguishing your what. Here's what I think I heard you say. You said you're looking at picking up 2 units, and then something about January, and that was the part I lost. And with me. Uh-huh. With what do you see? I don't what Okay, now I think I understand what you're saying. Okay, got it. So it sounds like you're trying to buy a unit that is currently in operation, and it sounds like you're saying operation since January. Do you have any of the numbers or any information on it at all? What do you have? Okay, let me start over. Let me start over. How many units do you have? I'm not talking about these two. I'm saying in general. How many units do you have right now, Cynthia? Okay, so now I'm confused. Okay, so okay, got it. So you don't have any units and you're trying to buy units from an existing operator. Got it. Understood. So when you went down and evaluated module number 1 and decided who it is that you want to serve, what were the 3 different customer types that came up on your worksheet? Okay. Let me be more specific. Did you complete the worksheet that where it talks about filling in all of the blanks for all 3 of them? Okay. So under there, one of the blanks says it says a number of things, but one of the blanks there, it talks about very specifically what was their role in the reservation process. So can you tell me the role in their reservation process on your particular sheet for those 3 people, please? Because that'll help me guide you to the answer you're after. Because all of the answers are on that sheet if you've completed it. That's what I'm trying to understand. So what is that? What are their roles in the reservation process for those 3 people? Yeah, no, I understand that. Mm-hmm. Got it. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Are you saying... Hold on one second. I just realized something. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Stephanie, thank you very much. I did not realize that I had her muted and you guys couldn't hear her. I can hear her fine and you couldn't hear her this entire time. New things. Anyway, I think we got it now. All right. So here's what I'm asking. On the form in and of itself, I heard what you said about the target. What I'm asking there is, on the form in and of itself, there are 3 there's a box that says role in the reservation process. Can you read for me or tell me what you put in those boxes, please?
Yep. I don't have it with me right now. I'm not in my house. So I cannot really pull it up right now.
Okay. Got it. So then here's
because I'm so new at it. Yep.
No, totally understood. Because you're so new at it, here's what I'm going to strongly encourage you to do, is to get to know who you want to serve better. Because the answer to your question of what should you evaluate is directly in line with not just who it is that you want to serve, but all of the answers. And if you can't, for example, I get the fact that you don't have the paper in front of you, but not having the paper in front of you but still not having the answer tells me that you don't understand who it is that you want to serve, which is that's the biggest issue. You're not going to be able to evaluate this until you know who it is that you want to serve. You've told me why they're traveling to the area, but there are a number of other questions that are there. And one of the important ones in this particular case, based upon what you're asking me, is what is the role in the reservation process? Because until I know the role in the reservation process, which will then spawn other questions, it's hard to say, well, this is what you should be paying attention to. Outside of, because I won't know what that person's going to be concerned about, and you don't know, and that's the issue. You don't know, and I can't make it up for you. That's why it has to already be done, so that it's easier for me to actually answer the question, because there's 45 different ways this thing could go, and I don't have the information in order to be able to help you. And if you don't have it in your memory or just know who it is that you're looking to serve with the answers to the questions, it makes it really, really difficult for me to say what should you be paying attention to. But in general, obviously you want income minus expenses to be profitable, but that's like the best that I can tell you, because I don't know what I don't know about all of the questions and answers that are missing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking of like the possible answers that I would have gotten. Like, for example, if I could give you the role, like, for example, I know that some people are coming here to this specific place to see their family and visit their family, right? But the role is, for me, is to have an availability of a big room where they can stay, and they can stay longer than 1 or 2, 3 months, right? Until they take care of their newborn or something. But I'm thinking that you're seeing, okay, what does the unit have inside, like the things that they provide?
No.
Evaluate, is that right?
No, it's not.
Okay.
What you have to do is, here's going to be the simplest thing, Cynthia. Go inside module 1, go inside the mastermind, download the form, fill all of the spaces out, or find them later, whatever, post them in the group. Then what I can do is that I can be able to give you better feedback once you have that form completed, or at least in a way that I can see it, so that I can go, oh, okay, now I understand. Here's what I would be paying attention to relative to the customer type that she's telling me, relative to their roles in reservation, or the role in the reservation, relative to the books that they're reading. Because you're not just evaluating the property, you're evaluating the marketing of the property and how it's been marketed, who it's been marketed to, and how it's been used, and what changes might you need to make in order to make it more profitable. There are too many questions there's just too many questions. Unless you have the piece of paper, it's going to be impossible for me to just say turn left, because I don't know.
I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat.
In the chat?
Thanks so much for answering.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. That's what we do.
Yeah, our group, in a group. In
Facebook in the Facebook group. It'll be easiest right there. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I can do that.
There.
Yep.
All right, thank you. All right, bye. So, hopefully everybody, I don't know, I was playing with some things. Were you able to hear at least the end of that conversation? I hope so. I don't really know. Like I said, lots of changes happening over here with the technological stuff. So that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. If you got a question, feel free to dial 417-344-2274. Let me see. Jay, we don't hear her side of the conversation. Oh man, you still did not hear it? Hey TJ, how are you? We can't hear her. Hey Sandy, how are you? Yes, the second. Oh, you were able to hear the second half. Okay, got it. I thought I was like, I hit the button. Anyway, perfect. All right, so like I said, we're improving lots of things over here to increase our ability to deliver content, obviously to those in the roadmap, to all of you here. We've got some special things that we're working on, which you're going to hear about probably before this month is over. And then for those of you who are just now getting started, now can be a very, very great time. But unfortunately, even though you didn't hear the entirety of the conversation, here's the short version. Is she was trying to take over, it sounds like, a couple of units from some operators who had recently begun, and what she wanted to do is be able to evaluate it. And the challenge is if you try to approach this like a real estate deal where you're just trying to evaluate the property, that's one way of doing it, but that won't give you the information that you need, because this is really about who's going to be using the property and how do they intend on using it. And that's why your worksheet, the who do you want to serve worksheet, is so paramount to the entire process. If you don't have that, and again, it's not like you have to have the physical piece of paper, but you do at least need to know your customer well enough so that if you're asked questions, then you can answer them. I mean, that's how you need to be, quote unquote, off book, if you will, when you're talking to landlords anyway. So, but yeah, because it makes it hard without that, without that information, it just makes it really, really hard for me to help in a more deep or tangible way. So hopefully that makes some sense. I'm glad to see that you guys are able to hear both sides again. Sorry about that. More testing, more to go. All right. If you got a question, is the number still on screen? Yeah. 417-344-2274. Feel free to give us a call. I will scan the chat to see what's there. Hey, Darla. Thank you. Yes, it's today has been a challenge. Hey, Renette, how are you? Ravens fan, that's funny. He types second. I like that. That's good. For those of you who don't know why I was laughing at that, I've been doing live streams every morning at 8 a.m. Just general business advice, if you will, so that the entire world can have something positive to hopefully hear or think about and look forward to. So just so you know, luckily you don't have to, I don't have to do it myself. That is, got it. That's cool. Yes, I'm glad you like seeing the setup. It's quite, there's been a lot of changes to it recently. So, And Marietta, okay, perfect. Everybody, excellent. So if you've got a question, feel free to type it in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to play, let me see, if I do this, would that work? I'm playing with the new toy. Yes. Okay. And I think you're able to hear it too. Yes. So that actually does nothing now. Okay, perfect. So it's all right there, baby. Love it. Anyway, check for channel. All right, looks like someone else just dialed in, and it looks like they're being screened. So I'm just waiting. And hey, Nevin. Oh, Nevin. Yes, Nevin is famous. I don't know if you guys, let me see. What button am I supposed to press? This is supposed to be this one. Yes. So let's see. For those of you who haven't seen Nevin's post, let's see if we can go find it for you. There we go. All right, so Nevin, I think. Oh, no. Wasn't it on your profile, bro? I thought it was. I think that's where I saw it. Yep, Nevin. Yeah, there it is. So, as you can see, Fox 21 online. So Fox 21 online. and I'm just waiting for my internet to do its thing. And then what you see here is that short-term housing available aimed at COVID-19 medical providers. Aimed at COVID-19, that's an interesting, I don't know how that title doesn't look quite right to me, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Oh, hold on, I should be able to play it. So let's see how does this work? Can I do that? Well, that didn't work. Okay, hold on. I'm not sure why you guys aren't hearing, and then I'm waiting for the screening to get finished. Oh, okay, cool. So it looks like the screening is done, but I want to see if we can't play this article of Nevin, since it looks like it was actually a video. Or did I accidentally click on the ad? I think that's what happened. It's not doing anything. Come on. Nevin, I'm trying to make you famous and it's making it hard. Okay, don't click on the ad this time. Can you guys hear that? I don't know if you guys can hear the actual video playing or not. Okay. Got it. I think I figured it out. 1 second, guys. It's two different, there's an audio issue, but now I think it'll work for you guys too, so let's go for it.
Short-term housing that is affordable on the average budget can be hard to come by. COVID-19 medical providers and first responders are coming to the Northland and want to avoid year-long leases. One local company is opening 3 new units in Superior for short-term lease. The company hopes these units will be occupied by first responders or medical providers who are fighting COVID-19. The owner tells us he knows how expensive hotels are and says this is another option that comes with fully furnished units.
For guests who stay with us, we're working with a couple of restaurants who are willing to give a 10% discount off their bills when they order from them. We are here to help them out and serve this community as best we can.
The units there start at $1,100 a month.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm assuming you heard it the second time that I was playing it. And Nevin, good job making that happen. And now, like I said, just get the as we talked about, get the video and do all the things there. All right, so let's get back over to the phone. There we go. Let's get back over to the phone, which means I need to put this back in my ear. Oh, we got to work that out for sure, because that's not sustainable. And it looks like Mariella is on the phone. Mariella, how you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
I am good.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Good.
And they can hear you perfectly too. So it is. So this, yes, it's starting to come together, or at least feel like it. How can I help?
Okay, so I guess we have a guest a couple months ago, before this whole COVID-19 started, and she was actually she was telling us, yeah. She was telling us that she says, I'm actually a host myself. And she says, and I like you, June, would like to stay. She stayed for a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. But my question is that when we look her profile, because she was saying that she's a host as well, but her units were in Hawaii, and we were just kind of like curious.
Yeah.
So when when Eddie kind of like got into her profile and started looking, her unit is actually not a unit; it's a timeshare.
Oh,
and she
okay.
uses her own timeshare in Hawaii as a short-term rental, and she posts that through Airbnb, and she does it through December and New Year's. And I was just in shock how much money she's charging for, like a night. It was like, like $900. I was like, what? Literally? I mean, the reason I'm saying if you know anything about it or how to go about it, because we do have a timeshare in Hawaii, and I was telling Eddie, I'm like, we should utilize that as, to see if we can. I mean, we don't use our timeshare that often, so we pay in every month anyway. So I thought, maybe if we can ask Jay if you have any idea. I mean, I kind of have general idea, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. Well, so what it comes down to, Mariela, is so long as you're only talking about just using your timeshare, you're probably fine. It's when you're starting to try to use other people's timeshares that things get a little weird and challenging to work out. Needless to say, you're not the first one. I went down this road too, and yes, it can work. However, there's something that you're going to want to remember, and it's simply, who is it that you're looking to serve, right? So the person who is that person that would most likely be using a timeshare in Hawaii specifically, for that matter, is that person still in the marketplace right now? That's really the big, huge question. I'm not saying that they're not, but my suspicion is it's probably not at this particular moment. Does that make sense?
Right. So we were trying to open our timeshare hosting guests during Christmas and perhaps New Year's, because it seems like the trend. It seems like those are the times that are most people travel for those days, and that's where we saw a lot of traffic in these other host websites. And I thought, okay, that sounds like those are the months of the year that we can actually host our timeshare.
Yeah, if that's what, absolutely do it. If that's what you're talking about, just make sure that you've already reserved because you probably have to. Well, actually, right now it's probably a good time to do it because most people aren't thinking about doing it right now. So that way you could get that time. But that's the main thing that I would be concerned about. But yeah, you should be able to relatively easily resell those nights all day long, period. I don't see why you wouldn't. My concern was that sometimes when people bring this to me, they're like trying to turn this process into a sustainable, longer term business model, which is very challenging. Well, it was very challenging when travel was, normal, so to speak. It would be even harder today.
Yeah, no, because we have to use our points, and we only get 2 weeks or 3 max out of the year, so we have to open only for those 3 weeks, and we have to select the times, which let's say it's open for December from this time to this time, or New Year's from this week, so it has to be selected already. So that's why I was just wondering if you knew about it or done anything like that. Because it's
a great idea.
Okay, cool.
It's just a great idea that it's got limited use because of the availability. In fact, just so that you know, there were times I was talking with mostly locations in the Caribbean, specifically about taking a number of floors over the course of an entire year. Like literally, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, cool. If they're open to this, can I take 2 floors for the entire year? And if I take 2 floors for the entire year, then I have a lot of flexibility and control in terms of what I can resell. Does that make sense? So if that's something that you're talking about and you were willing to do that, that can work. But if that's not what if you're just talking about like your timeshare for Christmas and New Year's, you do that like yesterday. In fact, you probably, if you have a way of making that confirmed for you right now, and then you begin marketing that right now, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea, because it's not going to be too much longer before we start to get people who are thinking about how to get a discount on their Christmas stay with grandma. And if grandma happens to be in Hawaii, then I think you work out very, very well in that regard. Oh, hey,
Awesome.
Haven't talked to you
Perfect.
since I mentioned it, so I'm curious. Were you able to execute the refinance on that house before all this finished?
Well, no, we were not refinancing. We were trying to sell the house, and that's the whole holdout for the roadmap, because we kind of like our source of income
I thought
was
you were gonna
just,
refi.
I don't
Okay.
want to get in detail, but you kind of got an idea what we've been through. So the whole idea was to sell the house, because I have at least $250,000, if not more, in profit. So with that, we can
Here's what I would do now.
have enough money to.
What I would do right now is try to find a way to create liquidity on that $250,000 of equity that you have in that house. You maybe there can be lots of fancy arrangements that make it work, but ultimately, based upon the opportunities that I have seen coming my way already, this is you're going to want to have. Well, you're just going to want to have some cash available. So if you're open to it, and I know you didn't ask, but I can give you an idea of what I'm thinking that I believe would still work in this particular marketplace.
Yeah, I'm totally open to any ideas
Okay,
that comes my way, because honestly, I was telling Eddie, I'm like, we missing out. We missed out on the discount on the roadmap, and now what? Like this house, with this whole pandemic, now kind of got behind. So everything got thrown off for everyone, obviously.
The plans got blown up, and that's okay. But what I want to share with you is here's what I'm thinking, and I'm just trying to. Oh, that's so weird. Why does it do it that way? All right, hold on one second. I'm just trying to make it all fit for everybody. Boom, there we go. All right, so here's what I'm thinking, right? So the house, is it currently rented?
Yeah, it is currently renting. I have people rent in the property.
Okay, what is the gross rent on that house?
I'm losing money. I'm charging $1,800 per month, which
That's
the
fine.
house can go.
I just wanted to know the number.
25.
Okay,
yeah,
so
18.
it's 25. So your expenses are 25, but you're receiving 1,800 right now.
Actually, my expenses are like 24 a month, and yes, I'm receiving 1,800.
Got it. So and did they pay rent this month? Were they able to pay rent this month? Have they been affected or no?
No, they have not. They pay rent.
Oh, perfect.
They haven't told me anything as far as they can't afford it or anything like that. So yes, they've been paying the rent.
All right, perfect. All right, and they have not, and they have not, and are not currently behind, correct?
They've never been behind. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so I'm assuming you have a first mortgage on this property.
Yep.
Okay, and do you know the approximate balance?
But the mortgage payment?
No, not the mortgage payment. The balance of the loan.
Oh, the balance. Yeah, I owe about $203,000.
203. Okay, and then the house right now, what would market value be?
I appraised this house about 6 months ago, and I appraised for $500,000.
Oh, cool. Okay. So is that the number you want? Is 500,000?
Pretty much, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm obviously, the market can go up and down. So by the time I do another appraisal and trying to sell it, I don't know if it will be around the same price or higher, but right around that, it's about $500,000.
Understood. And why did you do an appraisal?
Because I refinanced the house. Actually, it's been more about a year. About a year ago, I refinanced the house for a 15-year mortgage instead of 30.
Oh, so
And
this is
so that's why I knew the value of the
got it.
property.
So this 203 is on a 10-year mortgage right now?
I'm sorry, what was that question?
The 203, your first mortgage, it's on a 10-year note right now?
It's in a 15-year note.
Oh, 15, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And what year, how long, so is this the first year of this mortgage, or is it how long has that mortgage been in place?
Since January of 2019. So this January, the past has been
Okay.
it's already a year.
All right, perfect. Excellent. Now, so assuming you could, let's pretend that you were still able to get this property sold right now, Mariela. What is and given all the conditions and all the craziness that's going on, what is the dollar amount that of cash you'd want to be able to walk away with? That's the only number. Don't worry about closing costs. Don't think about any of that. What's the dollar number that you would want to walk away with? And I'm going to show you how to get
Based
there.
on what I owe, based on what I owe, 203, and it was appraised at $500,000. So I probably will say between 260 to 275. That's kind of like the bold number that I was thinking.
Okay. 260 to 275. Well, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You can. All the numbers are good. And in fact, I actually just did this very same exercise with another team member because she's considering moving, and she was like, "Do I keep the house, Jay? Do I sell it? What do I do?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, let's talk." So I get this type of question a lot. All right, so 200. I'm gonna use the number 275 to make it easy for myself, which means that'd be 478,000 is what we're looking at for the sales price, not including fees or anything of that nature. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All I did was
Correct.
add the two numbers. All right, cool. So if that's the case, here's what's going through my head, or here's part of what's going through my head. I'm going to make an assumption that you have 1,800 is what you're receiving currently in rent. What is market rent?
The market rent is about $25 per month.
2,500. Okay. So
Yeah,
how long have
2,500.
these tenants been there?
Probably 10 years.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Perfect. So I guess it's safe to say they're not looking to go anywhere at this particular moment in time.
Right, pretty much, and that's yeah.
Totally understood. Okay, got it. So, and let's see, 20. All right, so 25, 17, 1,800. All right, so I'm going to do a whole bunch of nerdy math. So just kind of chill for a second, because I'm working on something, trying to figure it out. And if you, let me ask you another question. Assuming you had $275,000 in cash right now in the bank, and your sole goal was to get more units online, how
Correct.
much of that would you actually be able to spend in the next 2 weeks? Do you think you would be able, how much of that do you think you would actually be able to spend in the next 2 weeks of that 275,000?
That's a good question. wow, well, I will literally start looking for more apartments, and obviously, I'll say, let's say, and maybe another 3 to start up. I don't want to, go too fast, but I want it to be fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say if I get the next 3 or 5 units, so let's say the rent around my area goes between 24, 25 per month. For the 2-bedroom, about 2K for the 1-bedroom. So I probably will say about maybe 7,000 on rent, plus obviously all the furniture, which is about 20K per apartment. Depends on if I get the 2-bedroom or the 1-bedroom. So we're probably talking about probably about 100,000.
Okay, got it. So, and for how many units would that be?
Probably 5. It could be less. I mean, as I said, I want to start with another, 3 right away, or 5 is possible. I don't want to start too fast, but I want to start, because I think we're ready to move to the next phase, since we already been, have these other units for a year already.
Got it. Totally understood. Okay, so let me see. That would be C15. So, and you've been making. So, what is you said your total monthly expenses on the house have been what? On the rental property?
You're talking about the mortgage?
No. I'm wondering how much you're spending. PITI, principal, insurance, taxes, for that property.
Oh, that's about, I think it's about close to 400 or 500 a month on the PITI.
Oh, okay. So hold on. You're not necessarily losing any cash then. It's just that you're under renting the property. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'm not losing any cash, because when I refinanced about a year ago, I also took money out. That's how we started, on the units that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not really losing money, but I am renting it way under.
Yeah, got it. Totally understood. So, I'm sorry, you said PITI you said 500, 600 a month?
About 500 a month based on my statement.
Okay, got it. Perfect. So here's what's going through my head, right? One of the things, like you said earlier, you were talking about missing out on opportunity, right? And when I'm looking at the numbers, I mean, sorry, there are just so many things that are going through my head all at once, is that if you sold the property, now I'm just saying, because there are people like this who are out there, definitely right now, right? Is 1,500? That's 18,000. Yeah, that'd be 18,000 on 1,500. Yeah, got it. So what's going through my head is, why not sell the property, in as it is, but instead of using a bank, why not you be the bank? Now, I know that doesn't, and before you go too far, just hear me out. Here's part of what's going through my head, is if you become the bank, 2 things happen. One, that down payment money is going to be useful to you, right? You said $100,000. So maybe, and again, this is being easy, but maybe the down payment's $100,000. I don't think that's the right number, by the way. I think the down payment should be much less than that. But for the sake of this conversation, if the down payment was $100,000, that would quickly, easily solve your problem and give this person an opportunity at 2 things. One, a property that's currently under rented, obviously, and so therefore there's an opportunity for increase in terms of cash flow, but because you are offering say decent enough terms, in the sense of you don't have to worry about the banks, we don't have to do the whole appraisal thing. Obviously they're going to still do their inspection because that just makes sense. I think you could put yourself in a position to where they would be able to have a very, very attractive payment on the remaining $400,000. And then obviously you would want to, if I were you, I would amortize that over 30 years as opposed to 15. Okay. And there are a couple of things that I would do at this point. One, once you were able to close on that transaction, you would have a payment coming to you of approximately $1,100, let's call it $1,200, right? You'd have a payment coming to you we'll call it $1,200. And that $1,200 obviously would still cover your mortgage payment that you are currently making. And the difference between the $1,200 plus the difference between $1,800 that you're receiving and the $500 that you're currently getting, or that you're paying, is $1,300. So your net cash flow is going to go down a little bit, because where it was $1,800 that you were receiving and you had your $500, you were getting $1,300, quote unquote, per month net. In this scenario, you're going to be receiving $1,200, and you're still going to owe the $500 for the underlying first mortgage. So you're not going to pay that off at all. That's just going to keep going, right? And then, so that's going to put a $700 month net, right? And the difference between that is here what happens is that you would now have $100,000 or so in cash, and then you would have another asset on your balance sheet of a $400,000 note. And this is where it gets fun, right? Is because there are many individuals out there. Let's just say for whatever reason, that $100,000 now puts you in a position where you're able to get 5, 6. I think you can probably squeeze another 7 units out of this, especially right now with decreased labor and everything else that's going on. So I'm going to put you at 7 units on that 100. But now you have a $400,000 note that's $700 in the positive. It does have that's after the underlying. And what you now have is, for all intents and purposes, access to this equity, if you will, vis-a-vis individuals who purchase what are known as partial notes, meaning you can sell a series of payments, say the next 24 payments. If you needed money. If you don't need money, there's no need to do it any further. But what it does is it creates a way for you to have liquidity faster than waiting for, quote unquote, the market to come back, and or for waiting for the house to sell or the bank to close on a loan. I won't even bother getting into the tax benefits and all the other stuff. But my point is that $400,000 note, you don't have to sell it all at once. You could, but you don't have to. And what it does is it creates an ability for you to keep receiving either monthly payments, or if you find another opportunity with another 6, 7, 8, 10 units, creating another $100,000 of liquidity for yourself. Almost with, and typically with it's like a 21 day, maybe 35 day type of thing that you would be able to get done, because you're in a very positive position with very solid collateral. It's just a very good situation to which this could be something that could work for you, so that you're not missing out on the opportunity that, and if I told you some of the opportunities that have come my way, like I was talking to some people in the roadmap, and one of the participants came and said, hey, I've got this guy, he's got like 240 units, and you got to buy 5 at a minimum of 5, but he'll let you have them for $3,000 to $4,000 each. And it's like, oh, cool, that's great. Now that's like the third one of these I've heard so far. I expect there will be more, and my point to you though is begin to put yourself in a position so you're not dependent on the bank to do something, you're not dependent on a realtor to find you a buyer, seller, etc. You're just not dependent on all of those traditional things, because if those traditional things stop working, then you're now subject to those guidelines, those terms, that box. And what I'm saying is, I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity either. And I'm just creating another way for you to get access to money that is currently trapped. And that is just currently trapped. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. So, cool. I'm actually excited because that makes sense, to
no doubt.
Keep it like that. So,
well, you got to understand, this is the marketplace that we are entering. This is how I started in real estate. So this feels like, like learning my ABCs or something. So it's very, very familiar to me. So it's easy for me to see, oh, well then do this and then move this here. And what that does is puts you in a position to where you can now have access to liquidity so that you can take advantage of, yes, the opportunities that are coming. It's not an if, it's not a I hope, it's a they're here. And there will be more of them. I don't know how many more, nor do I know how long, but they're here. And those are the things that I'm talking about. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Any other questions on this? Go ahead.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm good. I'm clear. That was my only question, and perhaps I can email you or send you a text a little bit more on details on this. And
sure. It's I was just looking at some of the numbers. In essence, all we're doing is you're selling the property. You're gonna hold the note, the deed and the note, and then what you're going to do is you're gonna sell paint if you need to. So assuming your down payment isn't large enough, or assuming you need more money than what the down payment amount is, you have the option. You don't have to, but you have the option to sell, say, the next 24, the next 36, the next 120 payments. Because remember, if you do it on a 30-year mortgage, there's 360 payments. So what that means is there are people who will buy the next 120 payments, which means the next 10 years. Now, it is still so for the next 120 payments, you've sold those. You've got the money. You'll get the money. They'll pay you a lump sum for all of those payments today, right? Because otherwise you're waiting 10 years to receive all those payments. But the opportunity is here today. And if you had the money today,
right,
then you could do something with it. And always remember, money now is better than money later. Okay. So being able to do that, especially in an inflationary environment, is very advantageous. And then after those 10 years, after those 120 payments, the rest of those payments come back to you, assuming you don't sell the rest of those payments. So that, but you could if you want to, but you don't have to. That's all I'm saying is it creates liquidity when you're concerned about marketplace liquidity. And that's almost something I would do anyway, to be honest, because it's easier to make that liquid than it is to make a house liquid. So that's really where I'm coming from. So, but yeah, no, I mean, again, whatever we can do to help,
Thanks, Jay. I totally really appreciate it.
No
definitely, I'll look into it, and I think that's pretty much.
Yeah, no problem. I have a feeling that the people in the group are listening to this. Because there was a part of me I was like, does anyone in the group care about this? And I was like, yeah, they probably do. So I have a feeling. I mean, I haven't looked at the chat yet, but when I go look at the chat here in a second, I'm pretty sure there's more than one individual who is tracking with what I'm talking about, and they are likely they probably even already know the person, and I'm not even joking. They probably even already know the person or persons who would buy the note right now. They may even know the person who would buy the house. So my point is, I'm if this is something you want to do, it's just really up to you to say, okay, cool, I'm going to do it, so that you can create the liquidity and put the plan in place, get more units, and just keep that thing going. So, yeah, totally understood.
Yeah, sounds like that's probably the way we're going to do it. Eddie and I were talking about, and it sounds like that's, he actually mentioned something like that. Good. He's been meaning to call you. Mm-hmm. And, he's been working lately, so it's just timing is not, in our best interest right now as far as when he gets home. But I will talk to him tonight, and maybe we can just send you a text and say we're ready. And
either
if we
way,
can find something like that, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's I absolutely think it's possible. So yeah, this, like I said, this feels very familiar to me. And yeah, I have a feeling that there's a number of people that who would be excited to help in any way that they can. All right, let me know if we can help.
Awesome. Well,
no problem.
Sure will. Thank you so much again, Jay. I'd love to, you and Poppy. Thank you.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye. Yeah, no problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully that was helpful for you. I have no idea. But I do love these calls, and I'm loving I can't wait to finish working out the kinks and the bugs of how things are set up here, so it'll just work even more smooth for everyone, especially me. So, and then therefore your experience will be better too. So I'm curious, did anyone learn anything from that particular phone call? And if so, I want you to type that in the chat. I'm curious to know, what'd you learn, if anything, from that? Please type that in the chat. Let me know. All right. What is this? This feels very old. This this feels very familiar to me, Susan. Very, very familiar to me. So, did any other? I thought I saw a question. In the chat. Somebody said, yeah. See, Mariella. See, Bob is already there. See, I told you. Knowing the circles that you're in, and by being around here, I had a feeling that somebody knows the person who knows the person who knows the person. So it's not an issue of can this happen. It's a here's how and here's when you could begin to expect some money type of thing, more than anything else. So I'm good, Bob. Thank you for sharing that. So that's really, really good. And then, yes, this is a fantastic time to be getting started for sure. John missed it. Yes, heard that. Oh, yes. Have I heard? Okay, so you guys are asking, who was that, by the way? Susan also. Yes, I heard about Wuhan and China and their quote unquote reopening. I'm watching that closely. I'm watching that closely for a number of reasons. One, when you're dealing with, we're dealing with a number of things that are just unknown. For example, do we have documented cases yet of people being, quote unquote, infected twice? Can that happen? Find out. Second, will there be some sort of situation around a resurgence? Because again, there is no defense. You got to understand that part of the challenge is that there is no defense outside of social distancing. What do they call it? Physical distancing. That's the new word. So outside of that, assuming that there is precedent or a way, and nor do we have a therapeutic, meaning if you get it, they have something that they can give you to help it go away. That is 95%, at least the benchmarks that I've heard people say, or the medical people say, that they got to have something that is 95% effective in order to feel good about it. I'm like, what about the other 5%? Anyway, so we don't have the therapeutic yet either. So it'll be interesting to see, because if you look at what happened in, I think it was Taiwan, or maybe it was, anyway, it was one of the other countries very similar over there, where they started opening, but they began to see an increase in the number of cases, and they had to kind of put a tamper on that. And so that's the danger with opening too soon. Now, with that being said, I'm paying attention to it because I want to see what Marriott and the like, Hilton, what are they doing in response to that? So tomorrow at 8 in the morning, p.m. or 8 a.m. Pacific time, I don't know if you guys have been joining me, but one of the things I'm going to do tomorrow is go through the quote unquote news as a skill set to show people how to recognize opportunity. And I have one of those articles from a website called Skift, which is, if that's not a website that you guys currently follow, should put it on your list, SKIFT, so that you can, again, just stay on top of news and information. And then obviously when I come along, I'll give you interpretation and some process behind it of what you can do with the information that you just read or saw, if you will. So that'll be kind of something that we're going to experiment with the 8 a.m. Streams here shortly. So hopefully that makes some sense too, because the one thing I do know is that as it currently stands, Marriott's looking at some rough numbers that are about to be reported. Woo! And it's not going to improve anytime soon yet, even if it is quote unquote open tomorrow, because there are certain businesses that require the ability to freely travel and specifically congregate in order for them to operate, because you have to have a certain number of units full, a certain level of business or volume to make sure that even though you're operating, you're not losing money, especially when you're at scale. So I'm sure they know what that number is. That's like their job, but it's not going to be anytime soon. And even when it does, the new policies and the new procedures that they're going to be instituting are going to be interesting. And in fact, I will share this also with you. For those of you who want to try to get a jump on some of the things that the larger companies like this are doing, one of the things I've been also watching is Disneyland, Disney World, Disney in general, the moves that they've been making, reinstituting Bob Iger for leadership, changing some of their menu. So like literally the menu at Disney World, Disneyland is changing relative to everything that's going on, because there will be a supply chain issue, right? For many of the restaurants, and definitely a lot of them at Disney, right? So some of the new procedures that they're putting in place, and just being able to stay, because that having and knowing and understanding how they're looking at things also helps me to formulate ideas and plans what we could be doing, so that we could go continue to move forward as well. In fact, I will share this with you guys as well. One of the newer things, I'm waiting for it to get here because Amazon, and it takes so long for stuff to get here. It's kind of funny how now the time that it takes feels like forever for stuff to get here. Like we just totally got used to it's here in 2 hours. But what was I gonna say? I'm waiting on an order to arrive, but I want to show you guys some things that we are beginning to experiment inside the units to help with cleanliness and sanitation. So we've ordered a number of these now because first of all, I had no idea that there was such a thing as UV disinfection lamps. I had no idea. Didn't really get it. And then I was watching what the airlines were doing. And then I was like, oh, that's a thing? So that then started me searching. And then I verified with some people who work at hospitals that this is something we're doing. I'm like, okay then. So these are all things that I began researching, trying to figure it out. How do we adapt what they're doing for ourselves so that we can put ourselves in a very similar situation, and more importantly, begin to promote, hey, we are very, very disinfected over here, right? We're not just clean, we're disinfected, and we're UV, germicidal lights, and all of this stuff, because your customer cares about different things now. Right now, my customer could not care less that Disneyland is down the street, and I know that. So you should be paying attention to how your customer is changing in their preferences as well. Let me see if there's any other questions. Otherwise, we'll be done. I'll get over to Starbucks. I feel like I earned it after going through all the chain. Did I eat today? Do you have that too? Like where you just realize I might not have eaten today. Like, did I eat today? Yes, I did. Poppy ordered. Okay, that was a while ago. Man. Okay. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you too often, but that just truly happened to me right there. All right. Let me see if there's any other questions and we'll be done. This one is it this one, skiff.com? Yes, that is the correct. Yes, that is the correct URL. That is the correct information. That is exactly what you are looking for. And in order to make it all go. Yep, that's exactly right, Susan. So that is the plan, is to go get something to eat. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your patience with the changes, with the growth, with all the things. In fact, hopefully, that just means as we continue through this process, you're going to have a better experience. I mean, that's the goal anyway, is to make sure that happens. Now, for those of you inside the roadmap, don't forget we are on Thursday, we'll be talking with the advertisers, and you'll see me setting up the account and whatnot. So make sure you're there for the 10 a.m. training. And guys, it's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.